Really?
That's that conversation, didn't it? See?
I know. Well, we just got back from going to the woods.
It's wet and everything.
Yeah, it's about 2:30. We stopped the videotape after we found Ashley out there. I told you that when we found her, she's still breathing.
And she's responding.
She was responding
Good.
to light when we were shining the flashlight in her eyes, and she was looking at us.
Uh-huh.
So that's good.
Can't she hear?
I don't know, but she was responding to some of the things we were saying, so I suspect that she is. I'm not a medical person anymore. I used to work on an ambulance, so I don't really know that much about it because I can't say a whole lot, you know. So we can just hope and pray for the best at this point here. So, but it's a good thing that she's in good shape.
Right.
What we need to do, and the reason I brought you back in here, Sam, so we can talk. I want to go over everything that happened. Okay. You told me a little bit, but you were really upset, and it was kind of hard to talk. So I want you to. And here's the thing, Sam. This is the point.
I know.
Do not hold back on anything.
I know.
I need the 110%.
I know.
Okay. And now you got to understand. You lied a whole lot. So we're to this point now. And now is the time to just tell me. Okay. So start at the beginning and tell me everything that happened. Okay.
Okay.
And you understand you're still on, this video room
Yeah,
and
that's
all
fine.
that.
Okay, so I ended up...
Now, hold on a second. While we were out there, I didn't beat you, coerce you, make your promises, or anything like that, right?
Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so I met her at Letterman Park at somewhere between 3:45 and 4. I think it was probably a little bit before 4.
Okay.
I met her at Letterman Park there. She got in my car, and what we did, we drove down 177. We turned around in the... Do I need to give you where all we went during this? The entire street route?
Please.
Okay.
If you know the
Okay, as much as I can recall. Went to not the Family Sportsplex, the bar that's right there. Caddyshack. Went to Caddyshack, turned back around, went down the street, then made a left, right across from McClintock, made a left, turned around dead end street, came back, hit the Family Sportsplex. We were driving around arguing the majority of the time. Let's see, hit to the Sportsplex, we came back down, then made a right over like 2 streets down past that detour sign that's up there, circled around, went back down, and I can't remember if it was Caddyshack or Sportsplex. We turned around and again, just kind of stayed right there, that general area, drove back. This time I took a right, right after where the Casey's is by the Robin's Nest. Took a right, went up that road, came back down, and kind of went left. Not left. After we made the right at Robin's Nest, went to the road where the little triangle thing is in there. Circled around that, came down, then turned right. So Casey's on our left, so we turned right back onto 177. Going back up, went down by Garfield's, went around the block, and headed back toward. That's where we headed toward Radio Range.
Okay.
And going toward Radio Range right there.
And you driving your car?
I'm driving my car.
And where's she sitting?
She's in the passenger seat.
Okay.
Okay. We get to Radio Range Road. My intentions were, when I was there, I was so angry at her, I was going to take her, and I just wanted to literally throw her out of the car, is what I wanted to do, get rid of her.
Why were you angry at her?
Because we had just been arguing over a lot of things, and the major thing was that she was upset because she had mentioned the previous week, and she had mentioned to me on Wednesday that she wanted to have sexual relations with me. And
what do you mean by sexual relations?
She just wanted to have sex.
Okay.
So, anyway, I told her it was not a good thing to do. I did not want to do it.
Okay.
That's
and
pretty
how
much
many times have you had sex with her before?
One time.
One time. When was that? A year ago?
No. I'm estimating this because I don't know the exact date.
Okay.
I met her at Mardi Gras this Saturday that the big parade was going on. I don't know the date. I think it was the 25th or the 23rd.
Okay.
And I'm not for sure. And it was about a week later, maybe 2 weeks later. Again, I can't give you an actual date.
Where did you guys have sex at?
We had it at the Millside Park in the back of her mom's SUV vehicle. I don't know what type it is.
About what time of day was it?
It was on a Saturday.
Was it dark out?
No, it was like 12 maybe.
Noon?
Right around that time.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So, where was it?
So you were mad at her because you guys were. She
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to have sex. You didn't want to have sex.
Right. And the other thing we were arguing about was that she said since I did it the first time, why can't I do it again? And that's when I explained to her I don't think of her that way. And she said, well, I didn't think of you that way the first time.
Okay.
Which then I said, no, that's not true. Otherwise you wouldn't have done that. And she said, well, otherwise you wouldn't have done that to me. I don't know. So we're arguing about that.
Okay.
So that's right. I pulled over and stopped. Now, when I pulled over, I didn't actually get into the grass. I was still on the road itself.
Okay.
So I got out of my car.
On Radio Range Road.
Yes, sorry.
About how far off 177?
I'm not good at estimations.
Mile, half mile.
I don't think Radio Range is a mile long. Well, I can tell you this: as soon as you make a left, keep going down Radio Range, and the first little spot that you see that has like a little bit of gravel that comes off the road,
Okay.
a little bit. It's a patch that's maybe about that wide.
Okay.
Anyway, I stopped about right there,
Okay.
and that's where I got out. That's where I opened the door, came over, hit her seatbelt button right there to unlock
Okay.
the seatbelt, and that's where I grabbed her and I started pulling her and
Okay.
pulling her and trying to pull her out of the car. And then when I got her out, if I'm her sitting in the seat,
Uh-huh.
when I tried to get when she was about right here, she's trying to hold on, and I just used all my weight. I just pulled back. I just completely pulled back, and that's where I heard the pop right there. And when I heard that pop, sorry,
Okay.
that sickened.
Where did the pop come from? So,
It hurt and felt like the neck.
okay. Was her head on the top the roof of the car? Is that why?
No,
Or the door jam or how?
No, I had her in almost like we were going to give somebody a DDT. You know how they hook for a DDT and
Okay.
go down. I just hooked her and I tried to pull her out. I just
Okay. And was she holding on? Is that why or what?
I don't. Well, she was like grabbing for the middle console in the car right there. When I say middle console, I'm talking about the little flip thing that goes up.
Okay.
So anyway, I pulled. I felt that pop and heard that pop. Man.
And then what happened, Sam?
After that, it's just like the body it just went limp.
She just
Like,
went limp.
It just went limp.
Okay.
And went limp. Went limp. Hurt.
I know this is tough. You have to remember she's alive.
I know.
Okay.
That popping is just. I'm never going to forget that.
Yeah, I know.
Her feet were still sort of in the car. If I had like a doll or something, I'm going to show you. And when she just felt limp right there,
Okay.
I didn't know what to do. I kind of had hold of her, and I was like, Ashley, and she didn't respond. So
Okay.
I just set her back in the car. I just kind of had to push her over. I set her in the car, and her neck was just kind of like that. It was just kind of like that, and she was kind of going forward a little bit, and I stopped, put the seatbelt on her, and I put the seatbelt on, and at that point, when the seatbelt was on, she was able to stay upright.
Okay. Her head was leaning forward like that.
It was the actual angle and everything. I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't even want to look. I was.
Yeah, I understand.
I can't stand brakes. It's one thing that freaks me out. And she was kind of like that.
Okay.
Is how I'd say she was.
Okay.
And
what were you thinking then? You're thinking that she was dead.
At that point, I wanted to rush her to the hospital, but
Okay.
I knew if I took her to the hospital, that sounds stupid, but all fingers would be pointing toward me, which they had every right to. I was really scared at that point.
Right.
I was
Right.
very, very, very scared. So
Did you think she was dead at that then?
yeah, because she was not moving, and the thing I had to do, the hat I had on, I had to put my hat, like, because I couldn't stand to look at her head, face. I had to put it like that.
Okay.
I was looking at the stomach to see if I could see any movement, any breathing, and I didn't see nothing. And I wanted to look at her face to see if she had any color right there. And then I thought once I heard that pop that maybe automatically she was already dead, because I always thought when you break your neck,
Sure.
you're dead.
Most people, that is true.
So anyway,
What were you doing with your hand? I didn't understand that.
oh, I can't stand to see breaks, and it was
Okay.
sickening.
Was it sticking out the back or something? The back of her neck?
I don't know.
Oh.
I didn't want to look. I was after I heard that pop and I set her back in there. I saw her body was
Okay.
drove. That's where I turned around actually on radio range right there. Turned around, and what I'm saying is I kind of popped a Yui, or did a turnabout, whatever you want to call it. Drove back to 177. Had no idea what I was going to do. No idea. I was thinking hospital.
Right.
That was the first thought that crossed my mind. Then I thought, well, maybe I can drop her off at her truck, is what I thought.
Right.
And I didn't want to do that. So I thought maybe I can just hide her somewhere.
Okay.
So when I was driving down, I remembered, since we had gone to Citizens before, that there was that wooded area that was over there.
Oh.
So I pulled up to Citizens. I got to that first entrance right there. Got out of my car quickly. Looked down. I saw the water in the creek. Got back in. Drove down that little more to the same entrance that we had entered in.
Okay.
And because I remember seeing a tire right there.
Okay.
So anyway, I saw that I could get her down there. So I opened up the door. Took her seatbelt off. Sorry.
Okay.
Got her seatbelt off. And I reached in there. You kind of had to, like, take her legs.
Okay.
Take her legs like this. Flip her over so that her feet were out
Okay.
of the car. And then I had to kind of take her.
What were you were thinking she was dead at that point?
I did.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
at that point, I picked her up. I was just carrying her. I was carrying her like this, and it was almost like a baby. I was trying to support her neck
Okay.
because I couldn't stand to see the neck just dangling.
Okay.
Toilet paper. So anyway, I got her, and I set her like right by, kind of down, but not quite down. She was.
You set her by. You talking about by the car?
No, I'm talking by the ditch, because I went and moved my car.
And then went back into the woods.
Then I went back into the woods,
Okay.
and I looked around. I didn't see a single person, so I thought, okay, picked her up, and that's where I started taking that creek. I started walking along there, and
Yeah.
I made.
I want to tell you. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I made. Like I said, I don't know that route because I had never been in there before, and I remember walking, and I remember seeing that little trail. I walked along that little trail right there. And then I saw the creek again.
Okay.
First thought in my mind, what I was going to do was I was going to take her and I was going to toss her into the creek right there. Is what I was going to do.
Okay.
So I set her down. I thought, I can't throw her into the creek. Can't do it. I thought, I'm in some deep shit, is what I thought. I am in some deep trouble.
Okay.
So I thought, how in the world am I going to cover this up? So I'm just standing there. I was a nervous wreck, thinking, what do I do? What do I do? So I remembered in my car, I had this big belt. It was thick belt, about like that, and it was made of kind of like this kind of material, except a little thicker, I guess.
Okay.
And I wanted to make it look like she got strangled there in the woods.
Okay.
So while she was laying there, I took the belt, and when I took the belt, I pulled. I pulled it on her neck right there.
Around her neck. Okay.
Around her neck. I had pulled it.
Okay.
And at that point, when I had pulled it, and I held on. I don't know how long I held on, but I held on, and I had to turn my head because I didn't want to see.
Did you hear her making any noise?
Yeah, that's the thing. All of a sudden, I heard like a gurgle kind of sound, and then all of a sudden, when I heard the gurgle, I let go, and when I let go, she had spit foam coming out of her mouth.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was spit, foam, drool. I have no idea what it was, but I saw it coming out of her mouth, and then I'd seen that she was the sickest color I'd ever seen. It looked like literally like she had stopped breathing. Is what it looked like.
Okay.
So anyway, after that, she's laying on the ground.
Okay.
And I didn't want to, but something just told me I had to look again. And I looked again and looked at her stomach. There's nothing. So anyway, I took it, I tied it like I'll show you my shoe. I kind of had it around her. So that's her neck right there. I had it like.
Move it over more that way so I can see it. There we go. Okay.
So if this is her head right here, or her neck, I kind of tied it like that. Boom, and
Okay.
it didn't pull apart like that. It stayed.
And that was around her neck, you said? Okay.
Fortunately.
Okay.
So I did that,
Okay.
and at that point, I heard a noise, and all of a sudden, I saw the stomach go. Stomach went. It was just like, whew, it kind of went up in the air.
Like she was breathing, you think?
I don't know. I didn't know if it was for maybe when I tightened it right there, that air had just pushed in.
Okay.
So then what I did, right then, I untightened it, and when I untightened it right there, the stomach just went back down. So I thought, okay, it's air escaping.
Okay.
And then one last time, boom, did it again. One last time, same thing happened. And then at that point,
Did you hear her gasping for air?
I didn't hear any gasping. I heard a noise, and I saw spit. I saw like saliva, like it like bubbled. It just went.
Okay.
So I untightened it, and then all of a sudden the stomach it went back. It went back in,
Okay.
and then at this point, her tongue, her tongue was like kind of protruding, like between the teeth.
Okay.
And after that, I got out of there. After that, I shouldn't say that because I looked, and I was watching, and I didn't stay long. I was looking, and I put my ear down right there by her. She did not breathe. So what I did, I took some. I'm sorry, I forgot about this.
Were you kind of thinking maybe she was a little alive at that point?
I didn't know because like I said, I saw that stomach go up both times, and then it went back down. So I didn't know, and that's when I listened, and I couldn't hear anything. So I stared at her stomach because you could see that easily if the stomach was moving.
Okay.
So I'm looking at her stomach. I saw no movement.
Okay.
So I thought, crap. Took these whatever kind of leaves, bushes it was that was growing right there. I picked some of those off, and I just covered it. I started covering her face, and like her chest and area and everything. So I covered that, and I just after I covered it up right there, I just ran. I'm sorry. When I was after that, I took my foot and I kind of went over right there to just destroying the footprints that may have been there.
Okay.
And after that, I just took off, and I mean I literally darted through there like a bat out of hell. I darted through there, and I found my way out instantly. I don't know how, but it was like instantly. It seemed like I found my way out, and I went up that entrance that we came in.
Okay.
I went up that thing, and then I darted up the hill, got in my car, took off. That's.
Where's the belt at? Where's that belt at that you used?
I took the belt and I just threw it.
Where did you throw it?
I got in the car, and when I was on Highway 15, I just took it. I just tossed it out the window. I tossed it out the passenger.
About where were you at on 15?
I don't know. There was the first opportunity. There's no cars behind me. I know that because I would literally slow down and let cars get around.
So that you could throw it out.
Threw it out.
You said something about when we were on the scene there with her about one shoe being off and
Yeah.
one shoe being
Yes. I had no idea. Was there one shoe off? Or was I seeing things?
off? Both shoes were off.
See, when I left, she had both shoes on. I mean, she was fully clothed. She was completely fully clothed. And when I saw that shoe, that's what shocked me more than anything. Because when you shine that light right there, and I saw her, did she have any bushes over her face?
No.
She had to have moved then. She had to because she was under those bushes. She was under the bushes, and when you shine that light on her right there, and I saw that, I felt like my heart had just stopped. And then I just looked over, and that's where I saw the shoe. It was right there. And that freaked me out when I saw the shoe. I don't know what freaked me out more when you first shined the light there when I saw the shoe. So
Okay. Yeah, both her shoes were off.
okay,
And they were up by her head.
really
Yeah.
okay. If you need me to go back there, if you guys have that spot marked where you found her, I can show you where I had put her.
Okay.
Right there.
Do you think she was moved from there? From the spot you put
I
her?
don't know. That's what shocked me to death when I saw that. That's why when I got up, I was so happy that she was alive. But then all of a sudden, I got really freaked out that her shoe was off and that there was nothing over her face.
Okay.
I mean, there was nothing there.
Did you put anything around her ankles?
No.
Okay, because it looked like she had some what we call ligature marks around her ankles.
What's that lecture?
Well, like what you had done around her neck.
Oh,
It looked
no.
like there was something around her ankles.
Oh, no.
Also.
No.
Did you pull her by her feet at any point?
No. When I drug her, I did it by the shoulders. I did it underneath.
Okay.
I did underneath, so I did that.
Well, it sounds like you were thinking that you had killed her. And you wanted to hide her so you didn't get in trouble.
Yep.
But then when you got there, it sounds like, from what you were saying,
I freaked out.
well, yeah, definitely you freaked out, but it sounds like when you got there, she was still alive and you had some indications of that.
Are you talking about tonight or Thursday?
Last night.
Yeah. Okay.
Last night. When you got her there last night, when you drug her into the woods, you had some indications that may have been still alive, but you weren't sure what to do.
Yeah, because are you talking about when I got her to the woods or
Right.
or into the woods? You talking about
Into the woods and through the woods with the gurgling and the foam
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
I see. One thing I kept thinking of was my grandpa when he had his heart attack.
Uh-huh.
We were sitting in there by his bed there at St. Elizabeth's where he had died.
Okay.
And I remember I went to give him a hug. When I gave him a hug and I pushed on his chest, all of a sudden I heard this noise, heard this gurgling noise, and it scared me half to death. And I jumped back, and I can't remember. I think it was my grandma that was right there. I said, "He just made a noise." She said, "Honey," she said, "That's just a gurgling noise." She said, "You pushed on his chest." So I thought maybe when I first tightened right there, and that gurgling noise, that's what it reminded me of, was from my grandpa, from that gurgling noise. And then again, when I did the stupidest thing, and tied that right there, and all of a sudden you just see the stomach go up. So I thought that maybe it was air like trapped in there. And then when you let go, it went back down. But then if you tighten it again, it's like it goes back up. So I don't know. I feel absolutely horrible that she was out there for that long and she was living through that.
Good thing is she's alive, partner.
I hope she can walk.
Yeah.
I sure hope she can walk.
I do too.
See, I'm never going to forget that popping noise.
I would imagine, Sam, that's something horrible. I do wish you would have just taken her to the hospital, though, Sam.
I know.
That
I was scared to death. It sounds selfish as can be. I was scared to death for myself.
Yeah.
I really was.
It does sound selfish. It absolutely does.
And I never get to do the thing I love again, which is teaching and and
right.
I mean I'll never be able to do that now anyway. But I should did the right thing then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just glad she's alive.
Was there any blood in your car? Did you have to clean out your car or anything?
No.
So you haven't cleaned out your car or anything like that?
The only thing I did today, when the officers, Dan and the other guy, they saw me do it. They had searched my car, and they found up inside through a bunch of empty bottles and a bunch of empty Grizzly cans that were in there. I threw those away.
But you haven't like get a scrub brush and clean inside there or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you don't mind if we search your car again and look through it and stuff like that?
Fine.
Okay. You understand you don't have to give us that consent, but I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
Is my car in your custody now, I guess?
Temporarily, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we would probably do it later today. We're not going to do it tonight. Go through it. So.
Okay.
Do you have the keys, by the way?
Yeah, I do. They're right
Okay.
here.
Okay. Just remind me to get those.
Yeah.
During transport and the whole time we've been talking, Sam.
From the woods?
When we left from here and went out there,
Oh, yeah.
and while we were out there when we came back, I just want to cover a few things, just to make sure. No one treated you bad.
No.
No one beat you.
No.
No one made you promises.
No.
Okay. You willingly talked to us the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We went over the Miranda rights with you earlier.
Well, you didn't, but
I did. Right. But
Yeah,
they
the other
did.
guys did.
Right. They went over the fact that you can have an attorney at any time, and if you can't afford one, to be appointed. All
Right.
that stuff. Anything you say could be used against you in court. All those you went through and signed those, and you understood that. Right?
Correct.
Okay. And that you didn't have to talk to us, but you did the right thing by talking to us.
Mm-hmm.
So, well,
So I guess, obviously things are better than I talked.
Yes, she's alive,
I know.
and Sam, she may not have made it through another night.
I know.
I can't believe she made it.
I
this
can't
far.
either.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
Yeah. What we have to do now is put everything together, and then it's ultimately up to the state's attorney's office
Is that Ada?
as to what they do. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's his office. It's not directly him, but it's his office to decide what we do from this point. I told you earlier, I had to put handcuffs on you before we went out there, that you are in custody,
Mm-hmm.
and it's up to them to decide what happens with that.
Okay.
I appreciate you talking to us and telling us the truth about it, and we can just all hope and pray that Ashley pulls out of this.
Have their parents been contacted?
Yes.
Okay.
Investigator Hundo, the big guy, went directly to their house to tell them
I
to
bet
bring
they're
them to
thrilled
the
to death.
hospital.
They're thrilled.
Oh yes, I'm sure. Is there anything else you can think of, or this is the time if there's anything you're leaving out that you really need to tell me.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, there's nothing.
Okay. All right, bud. On behalf have you
So
sit
there.
here just for a minute, and then.
Okay. Hey,
come back in.
when you search my car, can you throw my grizzly cans out there in there?
Throw them away.
My grizzly cans out.
Throw them away.
Yeah. So because my mom's probably gonna take my car.
Oh,
She doesn't know
okay.
I chew.
Okay.
Or if you see any
Okay.
spitters in there.
Okay. Could you give me your keys?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now we're probably going to do this tomorrow, just so you know. So,
What's
where,
that?
where are you parked?
Oh, I'm parked. I'm
In
confused.
front
I think
by
I'm
the
over
flagpole or
there.
something?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. What kind of car is it?
Ford Mustang White,
I like
2004.
Not a Cobra, is it?
No,
Okay.
can't drive a stick.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to put it down in the garage.
Okay.
Secure it for now. So.
Cool.
So.
So, I guess the night here tonight, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and probably all weekend.
Past tonight, I can tell you definitely tonight. Past that point, it's up to the state's attorney's office.
Okay,
Yeah.
is that where they
If-
go for bail and bond and
Right.
all that?
If I was to tell you something, it would be making you a promise, and I can't do that. By law,
Okay.
I can't make you any promises. Okay. So I don't. I
Okay,
really
am I going to be able to get like my contact solution and take my contacts out and toothbrush and
I don't
Good.
think so.
I can't take my contacts out either?
And maybe they'll give you something for that
Okay.
down there, but I don't think they. I really don't know.
All right, am I able to get like a little private toilet because I can't pee when there's people around because of my urinary stress disorder?
Yeah, I don't know, Sam. Well, I'll
Okay.
talk. I'll tell them that that's what you want, but
Okay.
I don't know if
Good.
they'll be able to do that.
'Cause I'll be miserable if I can't pee.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll be back in just a minute. Okay.
Okay. Hey, do I stay in a holding cell kind of thing, or do I stay in like in the actual jail?
You'll be in a holding cell, which is in the jail.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Sam, come on out here for a second.